Hi everybody, welcome to today's video. Are you guys feeling the Christmas spirit like I'm feeling the Christmas spirit? I love this time of year, Christmas lights, snow, sleigh bells, Christmas music, hot chocolate, and a pair of beautiful Christmas earrings. So today we're going to be doing a real easy pair of Christmas earrings. I ordered the Her Side collection. It finally came in a couple of weeks ago. This collection is absolutely stunning, full of Christmas colors, red and green and gold. I love ordering from River Cres beads, especially their collections, because they do have a lot that actually gets packed into that bag. So before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that on the day of filming, it was really cold here. In the beginning of the video, you are going to hear a little bit of the furnace. I finally asked Dee to go and turn it off for me because honestly it just sounds awful on the video. So just in the beginning part of the video you are going to hear my furnace running, but I eventually do shut it down and the rest of the video sounds pretty good. So without further ado, let's get to this video. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that you may hear the furnace kick in and out. It's pretty loud down here. It is minus 26 degrees Celsius on the day that I'm filming this, and I'm telling you, I need the furnace on. I'm even wearing a thick sweater just to keep me warm. I'm freezing. Okay, so what we're going to need today for these earrings is 4mm 22 gauge gold-plated jump rings. The mini charms, these are 6mm gold-plated. The 2-hole Ginkgo leaf check glass beads. These are in matte metallic antique gold. Chinese crystal rondelles. These are 3x2mm in emerald. I used my own ear wires. These were from Eureka Crystal Beads. They're also in gold plated. You're going to need 2 of these. These are the Krakowski crystal. These came in a pack of 12, so they didn't really put on there like what the size was, but I measured it. It is a 12mm Krakowski crystal, so you need 2 of those. Your 11-0 Miyuki Delicas. These are in transparent green and also in lined red. These also came in the collection. These are my own. These are 15-0 round seed beads in gold plated. I have 8-pound fire line in the color smoke, 11 or 12 size beading needle. You're also going to need some tools. Now I usually use 2 flat nose pliers to deal with my jump rings, just to open and close them properly. So 2 of those, and then a really nice small set of cutters or pair of scissors for cutting off your beading thread. Okay, I'm going to clear this off and we're going to get started. Okay, first I want to bezel this crystal. So that's what we're going to do first. I have my needle. I have approximately 3 feet of thread on here. You probably don't need quite that much. I can be excessive in thinking that I need tons of thread on my needle, but anyway, I put 3 feet of thread on here. I have 30 beads, so these are the 11-0 Miyuki Delicas, and I alternated green, red, green, red. Okay, so 30 11-0 Miyukis on here. We're going to bring that all the way down to the end of my very long piece of thread, and I'm going to go in this direction, so the tail end I'm going back. So you make your little circle. I'm going to go through quite a few of these. And I will go through and bypass just a couple beads past that tail end there, pull it tight. Okay, and then I always just double check to make sure that's going to be right. I usually use 30 of the 11-0 Miyuki Delicas on a 12mm round crystal, just to be sure. This is my tail end here. I'm going to be going in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a red one because I want to stay I want to have the reds on top of the reds and the greens on top of the greens. I'm going to miss, I'm coming out of this green 11-0. I'm going to go miss this red 11-0 and go into the next green 11-0. Okay, then pick up your next red 11-0, miss that red 11-0, and go into the next red 11-0. So that's the shape it should start taking. Take your next red 11-0. You're coming out of this green 11-0, miss that red 11-0, and go into the next green 11-0. Do that all the way around until you get to the first one you did, and then we're going to step up and continue. We are at the last bead before we step up. I put a red 11-0 on my needle. I'm coming out of this green 11-0. I'm going to miss this red 11-0, and I'm going into the next green 11-0. And then I'm going to step up by going up and into the next red 11-0 on the last row we just did. Okay, and we are ready to do the next row, which is going to be same as the last row, only you're going to add a green 11-0. You're coming out of the red 11-0, you're going to skip the green 11-0 and then go into the next red 11-0. And you're going to do the same thing all the way around. I love these transparent green Miyuki Delicas. They are so pretty. And that's basically what it should look like there. So do that all the way around to get to this point here. We'll step up and we will continue. All right, we are coming up to adding our last bead before the step up. Put the green 11-0 on your needle. You're coming out of this 11-0, this red 11-0. You're going to bypass the green 11-0. You're going to go into the next red 11-0 and on top of that the green 11-0 in the next line of beads there. We are up here now in this 11-0, this green 11-0, and we're ready to do our next step. What I want to do is inside here, I want to close this off right away. This is going to be the back of the earring. So I'm going to turn my work around. And I'm going to go through a couple of beads here and make my way down to this area here. And it's very easy. Just go through a couple of 11-0s. Diagonally works the best. Okay, now I am sitting on the other side of this red 11-0. You can see that there, right there. I'm going to take one of my round brass 15-0s and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bypass the green 11-0 and go into the next red 11-0. So do that all the way around. Miss your green 11-0 and go into the next red 11-0. Basically what you're doing is you're just filling in these little spaces here between the red 11-0s. Okay, and we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Pull these a little bit tight. Just make sure they're in there nice and tight. You might have to pull them a little bit to make sure that they snap into place in between those 11-0s. And what I'm doing here is a very simple bezel for this crystal. I will add all the fancy stuff after I get the bezel done. Okay, I'm coming up to adding my last bead, so I'm going to add my last bead in here. Just go through that last 11-0. Okay, and as you can see, the back is now done. That's what it's going to look like. Now I want to go back to working on the front again. I'm coming out of this red 11-0. I'm just going to make my way diagonally back up to the top again. Now I'm back here at the front. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to start adding those small little 15-0 rounds. And as you're adding these 15-0s, just pull a little bit so it starts to form a bowl. Okay, so you can pull a little bit tight. Just keep adding those. Same as what you were doing before, filling in those little gaps, but this time you're filling in the gaps between the green 11-0s. Alright, this tail is bothering me, so I am going to just weave it through a couple of beads and then cut it off. No more tail to contend with. So keep going all the way around, pulling tight, adding those 15-0s in between the green 11-0s, and you want it to turn into a bowl-like shape. We are at our last 15-0 bead, and we're going to step up. So you coming out of this green one, you bypass this red 11-0, go into the next green 11-0, and then the next 15-0 seed bead. And that's what we have there. I'm going to put my crystal in here. Just to get a feel for where it needs to sit. I'm going to leave the crystal in there, and I'm going to start adding my next set of beads. So that will be the 15-0s again, and go between each of the 15-0s that you added in the last row. bead to be added, so I've put a 15-0 on my needle. I'm coming out of this 15-0, bypassing this green 11-0 and going into the next 15-0 seed bead. I'm going to go all the way around all the second 15-0s that I put on there. So these ones that are sticking out a little bit, I'm going to go through those only. And that's why I used my smoke colored thread so that you can't see the thread in between those seed beads. I just want to pull these ones out a little bit and at the same time tighten up the hold on the crystal. So keep going until you hit the place where you started. I'm just going to go one bead past where I began. And there we have it. So there's the front bezeled and tightened. Now I'm going to tighten the back. I'm going to go through the back again, but I want to put all the other beads on the piece first and then leave tightening the back for the last. Now I'm going to start heading back down to this green bead here. Okay, so not the first one, but the second one. I want to get to that point. So I'm coming out of this 15-0. I'm going to go through the first 15-0 in the last row. And I'm going to diagonally make my way down to that green one there. This one here. Okay, and that's what it should look like there. So you're coming out of this green bead on this side. Okay, now we're going to add our Ginkgo beads. So we're going to add the first one. I'm going to go in this side of that bead. I'm going to try to keep my work down here for you so it's easier for you to see. Okay, I'm going to add 5 of the 15-0s to my needle. So 5. I'm going to go through this side of that bead, pull it tight, and then add 1 15-0 to my needle. Add the next Ginkgo bead. Five 15-0 seed beads. And go through this side of that ginkgo. Keep wanting to say gecko. 1 15-0 seed bead. And add your next ginkgo bead this side. Add 5. Add 5 15-0 seed beads. Pull everything nice and tight. And go through this side of that last ginkgo bead. Pull everything tight. And this is where we are at now. So what I want to do is I'm coming out of, let's move this up here. So now what I want to do is to go bypass 3 of these green beads and go into the 4th one. So you're coming out of the last bead on this side here. So this one here, you want to count 3. 1, 2, 3 of the green 11-0s and go in to the next green 11-0 to the back. That'll be this one here. just pull gentle because you want them to sit proper. Now I'm going to add 50 no's and go all the way around my bezel here. And those 50 no's should be sitting on the back red 11 O's. Okay, so what you want to do is you're coming out of this green 11 O, you're going to bypass that red 11 O, and you're going to go into the next green 11 O. So you're coming out of this green 11 O, you're going to bypass that red 11 O, and you're going to go into this green 11 O, the second one, so the one towards the back. And pull tight. So all these 15-0 beads should be sitting on the red 11-Os. And one of the reasons I didn't decide to tighten up the back just yet is because if you tighten it up too much in the back there, this is all going to be really tight, and I want room to add these other beads without having to fight and break my needle. Make sure you're careful and you don't get caught on other beads. Okay, now I'm going to add my last 15-0 on the first green one where I added my Ginkgo beads. And this is how it should look so far. Now I'm going to go down those beads, those Ginkgo beads. Okay, and then I'm going to go through all those 15-0s. You want to make your way down to here. I'm going to go down those 15-0s. You have to go back up that Ginkgo bead. Through that 15-0. And then I want to go through two the 50-0s on the middle Ginkgo bead. So you're sitting there, right there. Now I'm adding 6 50-0s. And I'm going to skip one 50-0 on this set of 5. I'm going to go through the next two 50-0s to create a little bail. Then down that Ginkgo bead, and then back out the other side. So follow all your beads around. And this is really good for doubling up and reinforcing your earring. 8-pound fire line is quite a bit for an earring, but hey, they're never going to come apart. Okay, and then back out that side. There we go. And now we've got our little bail made for our charms to be adding our charms after. I'm going to go through the next green 11-0, just on the other side of that Ginkgo bead, and through the next 50-0 seed bead. Okay, and we were ready to add our next set of beads. So we're going to start adding the Chinese crystal rondelles in emerald. And what you're going to do is you're going to add them in between the two 50-0s. So put on 10 rondelles. We are at this very last 15 we added before we added this ginkgo set here. So now I don't want to go through this set of beads again because I have to add the charms in here, so I don't want it to be too tight. But we do have 2 lines of 8-pound fire line going through there, so it should definitely be reinforced enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through all these 11 O's that make up the bezel till I get around to that first rondelle. And I just like to go zigzag back and forth, getting back over to that first rondelle. And then up through that 15 and then go up the rondelles, and you want to go up 5 rondelles. So between the 15 go up the 15 so up to the 5th rondelle, where you're going to add your bail for your earring wire. So this is where you should be sitting. So put 6 15 on your needle, and you're just going to go down that next rondelle where you have added your earring wire bail. Now I'm just going to go down, reinforce this a little bit more. I'm going to go through this 15 the other side. I'm going to make my way to the back where I am going to tighten this part here. So all I'm going to do is go through each of those 15 on the back, just to tighten everything up. And this will tighten it up and keep that crystal from moving. It'll be in there nice and solid. You can go around a couple of times if you choose to, just to keep tightening up. The more you go around, the more tight, like it's just going to keep getting tighter and tighter. So just want to make sure you can get your thread in there. Okay, so now my crystal is in there like it's not moving at all. I'm just going through the 11 just to tighten it up a little bit more and be able to tie off here. And that should be good. And now we're ready to add our charms and our finding. So I'm going to add 3 of the jump rings. Now the first one I'm going to add to this little charm is a red one. I'm going to put it right in the middle. Make sure your charm is facing the right way. I've done that many times, put a charm or something on and then, yeah, close my jump ring and it's not facing the right way. These jump rings are going to have a little bit harder time going through those other 15 So if you have a hard time doing that, just take your needle and push it through that hole. Basically I want 4 15 on one side and 1 15 on the other. That'll help with a little bit of space to put your jump ring in. Like that. Now we're going to put a green charm on there. Again, making sure it's sitting the right way. we are going to add our last little charm, the other green one. And like the other side, just pull that jump ring down. There. And now we are going to add the final piece. There you go. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it was easy to follow along. I am going to try to follow up with a bracelet and possibly a ring to go with this set. There's so many beads, so many crystals, and so many things to play with. Hopefully I can get that out before Christmas hits. Christmas is coming very, very fast and I just can't get these things out fast enough, but I will definitely try to get that out before Christmas. Don't forget to like this video. If you did like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. It lets you know when I'm uploading my next video. I will leave my website here for you. Please go over there, sign up for the newsletter because that enters you to win the monthly giveaway that I have every month. You guys have a great day and I would love to see you back here for my next video. Bye.